Alright guys, today we are going to review this Rock Island Armory Tradition single shot 12 gauge shotgun. As you can see there, it folds up. That's one of the main benefits or attractions of this thing, is that it folds up. It's super compact. It'll fit in a backpack, and then also extremely budget minded. Usually these are coming in around $1 bill, maybe a little more. I actually got mine for less. So it's a 3-inch chamber, as you can see there. Of course, you can shoot the 2 3/4 inch shells as well. This is imported by Rock Island Armory. As you can see there, it's a RIA arms made in Turkey, but Rock Island, as with many of the guns they offer in the US, they are imported from Turkey, not their own design. Some of them are, but not all of them. Even better, this thing comes with 3 different chokes. It's got a modified in it currently. That's what mine came with pre-installed. We got a full choke there, and then cylinder bore. And they include, I'm trying to figure out what the heck these screws are for. I don't really know. These are for the inserts for the stock, because it has an adjustable length of pull. It includes that little choke wrench there, which is nice, so you can get your chokes in and out no problem. And for anyone who was wondering, this is a 20-inch barrel. Now, as I said, this one is a 12 gauge, but they also make these in 20 and 410. I was thinking on the way here, I'm going to check, but it would be really cool if the 410 came with interchangeable chokes as well, because it's really hard to find a 410 in general with interchangeable chokes. And usually if you do, they're like a real high-end one for like skeet or trap shooting or whatever. That's actually why I recently traded for a Turkey model 410, because it had interchangeable choke tubes with the Browning and Vector system. So I'm going to have to look into that. If the 410 one comes with interchangeable choke tubes, that would be freaking awesome. So they make them in 20 gauge and 410 as well. And you do have an adjustable length of pull. These look like wood in the photos, but this is actually plastic, so it doesn't look too bad from a distance. And you can take out these 2 spacers here. It's pretty compact. I'll show you here in just a minute. With both of them in there, it is a nice little, compact shotgun, obviously, so it can fold up and fit in your backpack there. But you can make it even shorter for junior if you want. Also, another nice feature, comes with your sling mounts already pre-installed if you want to put a sling on it. The only thing I'll say is Junior or the missus probably will not enjoy shooting this too much. I anticipate the recoil is going to be pretty high. She's not very heavy. I'll throw up the stats on the screen there, but a pretty light shotgun. So anything with some real thump, especially buckshot and slugs, is really going to whop you. All right, so the way this thing works, you can just flip her out. You hear it click. It's locked. To unlock it, you got to pull this whole trigger guard back. It'll click back, and then you can fold it. And then you can fold the thing. I will say, I noticed everything's extremely stiff, but it is loosening up over time. I have not fired it yet, but I've been messing around with it at home. Like the hammer is real heavy. No joke, and it's probably accurate. It feels like a 20-something pound pull to pull that hammer back. So again, Junior and Missus is going to have a problem with that. Maybe the 410 one's a lighter hammer spring, I don't know. But that hammer is pretty stiff to pull back. And then to pull the trigger guard back, to fold it, it takes a considerable amount of effort as well. I don't really like that. I wish it was easier. But they probably don't want you to bump it on accident. But again, it's been loosening up. So straight out of the box, everything was super tight. The hammer's loosened up a little bit, maybe a pound or 2. Pulling this thing has got probably 20-30% easier after clicking it a few times. And then also how stiff that is has loosened up a little bit as well. But I imagine if you want it folded up in your backpack, you probably don't want that loose flopping around like that. So it's good that it has a little bit of tension on it for that reason. And I'm going to try to show you guys the sights here. They are really cheap, but functional, I'm sure. So it is adjustable for windage, as you can see there with that screw. So it'll go left and right, so you can adjust your windage, not the elevation. I'm not sure why it's red, but hey, it works. And it's going to be difficult for, there you go. I'll have to zoom in and edit and all that, but you basically just put her in a notch there and you got the bead sight front. So honestly, I mean, other than the fact that this thing is red and super cheap plastic, I actually really like that you got that rear notch to put it in there instead of just nothing and only the bead. So we'll see how she lines up on paper and all that. And of course I can adjust the left and right there. But we got a lot of fun stuff to try through today to see how it performs with different things. Got some slugs here we're going to put through it, some 7.5 shot and some buckshot. I'll get my target stand set up there and we'll do some patterns with it with the different chokes, see how it patterns that bird shot there and buckshot. Shoot some slugs, and we'll most likely be taking it down to the rifle range to shoot some slugs a little bit further range than what we can do down here. So I got the modified choke installed currently. Let's start out with that 7.5 shot. We'll just try to knock down some of the steel to start out with. And no ejection thing, but so far easy to pull out. And yeah, that had a little bit of muzzle rise to it, and I'm feeling it in the shoulder. Those slugs are gonna suck. Again, because it's so light. I mean, I would have had it up on the screen. I'll probably throw it up again here, but it's pretty light. Trying to think of how to show you guys this a little more closer up. I mean, I think you get the gist, but so after fire, again, pull this forward. Can't quite do it with one finger. Two does it for me. Pop her open, pull your other shell out, stick her in, flip her up, pull the hammer back. And that's how she works. And yeah, because it's so light, it is making those feel like a pretty decently heavy buckshot load. So the buckshot and slugs is going to suck on the shoulder. All right, I got the cylinder bore choke in it. So you can see there's the full and the modified. I got the cylinder bore in it currently. That is a laser rangefinder confirmed, 15 yards. If you guys are looking to get yourself a good budget rangefinder, well under $100, been using it for years. A link in the description for that one. But let's send that 7.5 down there with cylinder bore. See how she patterns at 15 yards. All right, I'll take you guys down there and have a look. It looks like it patterned a little low. I was holding the bead about 6 o'clock on that center oval, so it looks like most of the pattern is down low there, at least with that one shot, with that one shell, with that choke in it. Now I want you to pay attention to these shots here. We got a few 9mm shots and a few 223 shots here. Okay, pay attention to those, because now I'm going to send that buckshot load through that same cylinder bore choke down here. No, I've never used this stuff. I've done some buckshot videos in the past, or at least I've used different buckshot while reviewing different shotguns. Had like multiple to try. Anyways, I've never tried these ones, so I don't know how well they pattern. Different buckshot I have found patterns differently. I really like the Remington green, white, and yellow box. 25 rounds like this. Those pattern the best for me so far out of your budget ammo buckshot. Wolf and like Fiocchi and stuff like that, S&B, those don't do too good. So hopefully this Winchester's all right. So 9 pellet, 2 3/4 inch, double aught buck. Let's see how they pattern. Again, cylinder bore, 15 yards. Those aren't too bad. I'm used to double aught having quite a bit more recoil than birdshot, but those felt pretty much the same. So those must not be that hot of a loading there. Now I did pull it a little off to the left when I pulled the trigger. My bead was probably somewhere around here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hang on. Some of those were 9 mil, remember? Yeah, you can tell they're smaller. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, and there's that 9 flyer. I was looking for it. We always got that one flyer. So it's not a bad pattern, 15 yards with cylinder bore there. And also you can see it seemed like most of them patterned low down there. We got 2 up high, but the majority's down low like that previous shot with the bird shot. But all right, while I got that cylinder bore in there, I'm gonna send 2 or 3 of the slugs down there and see where they impact. I'm just gonna use these Winchester 2 3/4 inch, 1 ounce rifle. Excuse me. Rifled Foster slugs, whatever you want to call them, 1600 feet per second, 1 ounce. Holy crap! Oh. That was crazy. What got me was how much louder it was and the huge muzzle flash there. I don't know if it caught it on the frame rate, but big fireball came out the end. I mean, yeah, the recoil was there, but hey, Jesus, seemed like a plus P plus magnum load compared to the birdshot and those buckshot. That was crazy. But I can see down there, you see that big old hole, so she's definitely shooting low for me. But let's go ahead and send 2 more down there and we'll see if they keep averaging low like that, which I'm assuming they will. I'd say that's where they're going. It hit pretty much the same hole. Save my shoulder some for when we go down to the rifle range to shoot them further, but so yeah, she's a little left there. I need to adjust the sights slightly to the right. Hitting the same spot there, and dang, almost a foot low. So yeah, it's averaging low for me. That's not quite a foot low because I'm holding that bead in between that blade or notch or whatever you want to call it, as I showed earlier in the video, and I'm holding the bead about here, which looks about that big from up there, and they're dropping down here, so 6 or 7 inches low from where I'm aiming at. So unfortunately the elevation is not adjustable, like I said, but I can drift that to the right a little bit, which I'm going to do. Now to correct that, other than just aiming high, you can just tilt the front of the barrel up, bring the bead up a little higher. Instead of it being right in between, you know, that rear notch, just bring it up a little higher in that notch. Use the same amount high each time and it'll bring your impact up a little bit. Switching over to modified choke here, but real quick on the trigger, guys. I think it was pretty stiff at first, and again, it's another thing that's loosening up. Just want to show you there that we are empty. And the trigger on this, oh, it's not prepared for that. That's weird. It's got like a 2-stage. So a little bit of play there, but once it creeps back, it stays, and then we'll pull through. So nothing after that. So mine has this little bit of play. Okay, you saw it move, and you could probably hear that too, and then that's it. And we'll pull through. And I don't know, man, that's about a 5-pound trigger. Let me grab my trigger gauge real quick, actually. 6 pounds 14. Doesn't feel that heavy. Seems like I always say that. 615. I don't know, man. It does not feel that heavy to me. It feels about like a Glock trigger, which is like in the 5-pound neighborhood. See, that went way higher. There's no way that's a 7-pound. Let me try coming in lower here. 6.4. So yeah, it really depends on where you put it on there. I put that one down here lower like that. And we got 6 pounds 4 ounces. So this thing's saying 6, but I don't feel like it even feels that heavy. But out of the box, man, it felt a lot heavier than that. And she loosened up pretty nice there. Pretty decent trigger now. But all right, we got that fresh target up there now, so we're going to try that 7.5 shot with the modified choke and the buckshot as well. Shouldn't waste my time doing this, you guys should just trust me. But anyways, see, there's the full, there's the cylinder. I got the modified in her. All right, here goes our 7.5 shot, and I'm actually going to keep the same aim point, even though it's averaging a little low. That way we don't change anything for the comparison and the chokes here. So here we go with the 7.5. All right, so that was definitely much tighter than the cylinder bore. And you can see there where our pattern is. So like I said, I'm holding the bead right here, so it just averages a little low. I mean, the slugs are several inches low there. What I say, 5 or 6, but I mean, you know, if you're aiming at the thing right here, you still got them. You just want to elevate a little bit, at least on my example. They might not all be like that, but that's a pretty nice pattern for 15 yards with modified there. All right, now with the double-aught buck. Modified choke, double-aught buck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 15 yards. Now I think since this target's mostly unscathed on the top half, I'm going to come up here. I'll actually just aim like right above this, because again, I'm holding my bead there and most of it's averaging down there. So I think I'll aim at the top, maybe an inch over. We'll do the full choke right here with each. All right, full choke, 7.5 shot, 15 yards. I mean, I think you guys can see it good enough from there. I'll zoom in, edit, all that. I'll do the double-aught buck now up there. 15 yards, full choke. I know a fresh target would have been better, but you can see it patterned a lot more centralized with the full choke than it did with the modified. And then, I mean, as far as the 7.5 goes, and then you still got plenty reaching out here, but it grouped more of them in the center there. See the difference? And then our double-aught buck, there's with the, I mean, it's kind of nice leaving it this way so you can compare the chokes too, side by side. There's your double-aught with the modified, about an 8-inch, 9-inch. Oh, it's about 7.5, 8, something like that. And then there's with the full choke. Yeah, it's just like fist size there, so it even patterned those tighter. It looks like I'm still averaging a little left. I did give it a slight tweak to the right, but I think I need just another little quarter turn there and it'll be perfect. But yeah, there's how she patterns the birdshot and buckshot down here at 15 yards. And I gotta say, not bad at all. Not bad for a little budget single shot like that. All right, so you may have noticed that scenery has changed a little bit. Somehow I lost the footage. I was down here drilling my gong at 50 yards. There she is again. Of course, now it's not hanging and gonna swing for us because the ground's frozen solid and I can't get my hook in the ground. So I got to redo this. So, you know, you saw in the video, she's averaging low there, especially with the slugs. You have to go back in the video if you missed it. I showed the sights up close. So basically, and I talked about this earlier in the video, instead of putting the dot right in that rear notch of the rear sight, we're going to elevate the dot higher above it which will bring the muzzle of the barrel at a more upward angle, and then find the correct aim point down there to hit that, which for me, and again, I don't know if they're all like this or if I just got unlucky and my example for some reason it wants to shoot low, but I got to raise that bead a certain height and then aim kind of at the top of that plate to hit it. And I could raise the bead even higher over the rear notch, and then not have to aim at the top or an inch over it, but you just have to experiment with it if you have that issue, to figure out where you need to hold that bead and where to hold on your target at various ranges to hit it there. But anyways, I just wanted to show that she is capable, so hopefully I do as good today as I did previously. I got a few slugs left. What are we shooting here? I got these true balls that I'm going to send down at it. Okay, there's your stats on that. So hopefully you get a bunch of hits. Well, not a bunch, I'm not shooting that many, but some hits back to back without missing like I did previously before I lost the footage. So here we go. I know it also sucks because it's white and it blends in and all that, but she's down there at 50. It's not going to swing for us now. Like I said, I got a green dot in the middle so you can kind of see the center. We'll do some zoomed out and hopefully get some zoomed in as well here. So let me I don't know, about there, maybe you guys can see something halfway decent down there. Looked like it was just low, so we got to aim a little higher. Should have heard that hit, but that was a hit. Whew. All right, see if I can get a few zoomed in for you. And I am not going for accuracy. I've already been out here an hour. It's 25 degrees, 10-mile-an-hour winds. I am freezing. My fingers are numb. Obviously, she would do better off a bag or a rest or something than free-handing it there under all these conditions. So don't read too much into the accuracy. Like I said previously, I hit it back to back like 3, 4, 5 times without missing. So yeah, I'm definitely not going for ultimate accuracy here. I'm just sending them down 50 yards free-handed, freezing my butt off for you guys. I thought this was a cool shot. I'm going to slow it down so you guys can see, but the wad, you could actually see it fly through the air and land just in front of that target in the snow. And right there was our slug impact, and you'll see the second shot here come about 2 inches above it. And again, you could see that wad come in and land just in front of it, but this time it rolled off to the right side of the screen. Alright, I think that's good enough. That's 4 in a row. So yeah, she'll get her done at 50, no problem. If I can hit that back to back like that, freezing, 25 degrees, windy. Fingers are already numb from recording out here previously with that. See that rifle on the table there. It's definitely plenty accurate for deer out to 50 there with that cylinder bore. With those slugs, you know, seem to shoot the Winchesters just as good as well. So yeah, 50 yards, no problem. And honestly, she'd probably do 75, no problem if you're a good enough marksman. I don't like that I have to hold the bead high and still aim high. So that's definitely a negative, but as you can see there, I figured it out and I'm able to get hits. And again, I don't know if that's, you know, all of them or just mine or what, but that's what I'm dealing with. Alright, so usually I give somewhat of a detailed recap at the end of the video, but this one's already getting way too long. But I can summarize quickly and say that I'm happy with what I got here for the price, except for the fact that it shoots those slugs so low. Again, maybe it's just mine, maybe others don't do that, I'm not sure. But for anything else, definitely go back to the beginning and watch the video to the end without skipping before you ask any questions. Please and thank you. Really appreciate it. Thanks for watching today, guys. For any of the products you saw me use in the video today and way more, links in the description for all of that. Leave me a comment down below. Tell me what you think, and I'll catch you on the next one.